Open world games are a lot like dick jokes. Most of the time, it's just about size. Look, I love Bethesda. They have created some of the best open world games I have ever played, but even saying that, I am super nervous about their next game, Starfield, because like me trying to cook, it can all go horribly wrong. When I see things like over 1,000 planets to explore, all I can think of are the famous last words of,
and it's our biggest one yet. It is 4 times the size of Fallout 4.
Or even worse, the whole situation with this game. So what am I looking for in a good open world game? As games have been allowed to evolve over the decades, they have constantly pushed for more. More realism, more pixels, more stuff. Part of that quest for more has taken games from linear enclosed maps to massive open ones, where players are free for the most part to go where they want. The concept of these open games is fantastic, but they can cause a lot of frustration when not done well. That is to say, when they are not done for any other purpose than to say, our worlds are so big. Gamers don't care about the size of your maps. We only care if they're fun, and a lot of the time, they aren't. Here's a good example. I was recently replaying the Dragon Age trilogy because apparently I have 100 hours of my life I'd like to kill. This is a wonderful series with classic BioWare characters. Each entry in the trilogy has a variety of maps, but they are generally pretty limited in scale, which is fine, and likely a product of the time they were made. By the third one, however, the maps really open up. They even give you a mount that makes you a whole 25% faster and handles like a broken shopping cart. Did these massive landscapes make the third game more fun? Well, here is actual footage of me exploring these maps. That's right, I fell asleep several times playing this game because I got so bored running through these huge, lifeless places. The increased size of the explorable areas did nothing for the entertainment of the game and only acted as huge buffers between any actual action. The reward or incentive for running all over was just dozens of pointless collectibles or the occasional group of enemies if I was around the right level. That's it. I didn't get anything from exploring. There was no real point to it, no sense of adventure or things to discover other than empty assets. These types of open worlds are filled with chores, not gameplay. I wanted to remember how remarkable open world games can be, so I jumped into Fallout 4. Fallout is such a breath of rad-filled air when it comes to open world games. While it may suffer from some classic Bethesda bugs, I am happy to spend hours upon hours getting lost in these ruined landscapes. Fallout 4 nails it by being densely packed with all sorts of locations begging to be discovered and explored. Believe it or not, there is a story to Fallout.
You emerge from your subterranean vault in a post-apocalyptic future, hell-bent on revenge against the people who murdered your partner and kidnapped your baby, and there's nothing that will stand in the way of—
Oh shit, what's that over there? Unless you have super mutant levels of determination, within about an hour of getting thrown into the world, you'll go from,
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
to,
I've abandoned my child! I've abandoned my boy!
the main story quickly takes a backseat to the random quests and self-driven adventures brought on by your own discoveries in the wasteland. Going in any direction, you can stumble across something new to explore. The little map in your HUD down below is constantly filled with little icons of things that might be of interest to you nearby. The difference between these locations and the ones you might find in something like Dragon Age Inquisition is that I want to explore them because that's part of the gameplay. There are a number of ways to tell that this is the case. Firstly, each location just straight up gives you experience, so that's a pretty big hint. Secondly, every quest just boils down to different flavors of go here and kill or grab a thing. Fallout knows that exploration is one of the best parts, so it's always pointing you towards different stuff, where you'll either find a new place and or get distracted along the way and have fun finding something else. It's just overall good design. Lastly, the biggest piece of proof is that no matter where I end up, I am likely going to find something cool there. Whether it's a new piece of gear, an upgrade, crafting materials, or at the very least, some kind of lore, there will be something there beyond just collectible 33 of 100. It is very clear that every location in the world of Fallout was created to tell part of a story. World building done by showing and not telling is something I really appreciate in visual mediums, and even covered it in an earlier video on how BioShock did it. But where BioShock used its world to tell more of a self-contained story about the rise and fall of society, Fallout tells many smaller, individual stories to paint a picture of the world as a whole. Instead of telling you obvious things like the power plant provided power, in checking old computers you might learn about some juicy corporate drama, or an espionage plot that factored into the world-ending war. Maybe in a hidden bunker in some cabin in the woods you will find radioactive materials, pieces of a bomb, and a crazy manifesto that don't serve any purpose other than to make you go, oh, neat. These moments, these disconnected stories don't affect the main plot or the goal of the game, but they do keep you engaged. If you just look around, you will find all sorts of amazing little details or jokes like this one that show that someone put thought into this little thing, even if it meant barely anyone would ever see it. When I see gameplay for the upcoming Starfield, I do get a little nervous. It's more than just the lack of a mini-map showing possible locations nearby. It's the fact that they seem to be adopting this bigger is better mentality that has sucked the fun out of so many other games. With 1,000 planets to visit, an admission that not all of them will be handcrafted, because obviously that's impossible, it raises some flags. As exciting as it could be to travel to such a staggering number of planets, if some of them will be randomly generated with no structure or reward to their existence other than just to be a checkbox, then I lose a little interest. I don't want to waste my time on a pointless planet just because they put it there to claim that they have 1,000 of them. If given the choice, I will always pick one well-crafted planet with lots to explore over 1,000 mostly empty ones. All of that said, if anyone can make this game work, it's Bethesda, after a ton of patches. I hope they make a game that tells hundreds of little stories. I hope they make planets that are interesting to explore even after the 990th time. I hope that they make a game that captures my desire to explore outer space so much that I can avoid looking for my lost son in favor of checking out yet another seemingly abandoned building for some old comic books. I know this was mostly about Bethesda, and there are tons of other open world games out there, so feel free to share with me some of your favorites. But for now, thanks for letting me talk gaming.